Hello!
Hello,
And welcome
to a very special Halloween-adjacent, summertime-based horror movie episode of...
I Will Say This,
Though.
And we say this because this is probably going to be published in Halloween season. However, we are recording this early September, just at the end of summer. And what perfect way to balance both Halloween and summer than with the greatest, not only the greatest summer camp movie ever made,
Probably.
the greatest horror movie ever made.
People like Wet Hot American Summer. I hear that one's really good. I haven't seen it.
Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp. We're talking about Sleepaway Camp, the first one.
So what we're doing is we're going to be putting all the Sleepaway, well, not all the Sleepaway Camp characters, but the ones listed here.
All these major characters
that we remember who they are. If we don't remember who they are, we're just gonna skip them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not everyone here.
I'm sorry, whoever this blurry chick is in the blue. I'm honestly
that?
not sure who that is, but and I've seen this movie.
Oh, good. We can rank person in boat at beginning of movie.
Well, she's important though.
She is.
We'll get to it.
And Dad's boyfriend.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, okay. So first of all, spoilers.
Oh,
for
we're gonna
this
get
movie.
into heavy spoilers.
Huge spoilers for this
If
movie.
you haven't already seen the movie, go watch it because it's delightful, and then
come back
and watch this.
Yeah. And Danny is gonna be the one who has who's gonna make the final decision on these.
Okay.
Because he's new to it, so he hasn't seen Sleepaway Camp as many times as I have.
Yeah. How many times would you say you've seen it now?
Listen, I first saw this October of last year.
Oh.
I've seen it like so many times.
Okay.
It's like it feels like a nostalgic comfort movie for me, even though it's been less than a year since I've seen it.
I got the sense that you had seen it many times.
I have.
Over the years. All right. I just saw it for the first time a week or two ago.
Yeah.
At Jimmy's insistence. Sorry, invitation. Let's be kind here.
No, insistence. Listen, I think everyone...
His extremely strong invitation.
So Danny's going to be making the final decision on where to place them on our alignment chart here.
Yeah, instead of a tier ranking, we're going to sort them by alignment.
Yes.
Because tier ranking would be difficult because even the characters you hate are still entertaining.
Yes, that's true. It's like, how are we going to rank them? By, like, entertainment value or by morals?
Yeah.
Either way, it's like, you know, even if we rank them by morals, it's too obvious who's at the bottom, who's at the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the pedophile guy sucks, and,
Yeah.
like, Susie's nice but boring.
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of, so this is more interesting, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's rank Angela last. I feel like that's probably
all right.
Even though she's second on this.
All right.
So let's start. Oh, Paul's also a hard one. Yeah, let's start with the easy one. Let's start with Artie. So the third one.
Artie obviously is just fucking sucks.
Yeah, but are we gonna go chaotic evil?
I think so.
Because I would argue that all of his evilness comes from just selfish, like, oh, I want to satisfy my lust.
That's true.
So I would put him in neutral evil, maybe.
Maybe.
Slightly towards chaotic, but not like, you know, that's how I would argue.
All right. So quickly defining the difference between the different for those who do not play Dungeons and Dragons, where this type of alignment chart originates. The difference in good and evil is fairly self-explanatory. Lawful versus chaotic. A chaotic character does not really care about structures, may actively resent them, but for the most part just does not allow them to take much bearing on them at all and will resist structures. A lawful character will respect structures, and it is entirely possible, of course, to be lawful and evil at the same time. A neutral evil character will use structures when they are beneficial, but does not really feel bound by them. And I guess he is using a position of power as head chef for his depredations.
Yeah, because I don't think it's very shown to the audience what his opinions are on the structures so much as we just see him trying to satisfy his own personal bodily desires.
That's fair.
On children.
Yeah.
Against their will.
God, I'm so glad that he gets all that boiling water dumped on his head.
And by the way, just so you know, if you're a Sleepaway Camp fan and you're part of like, oh, you know, it's not sure if it's ambiguous whether or not he dies, he definitely dies. And the reason is because he saw Angela's face.
Yeah, he says, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah. So if he didn't die, like, immediately after he's wheeled off screen, that means he would have told the police and Angela would have been stopped.
Or, counterpoint, when he's wheeled off, he's screaming, and someone says, like, the pain's gonna drive him crazy, so maybe he's just never really able to process to tell them what he saw.
Yeah, maybe.
But he might as well be dead.
Although honestly, I don't think I obviously I'm finding like real world physics, but I don't think I think that sort of pain would hurt, getting boiling water poured on you. But like I'm sure that's happened to real life people, and they're not like driven insane.
No, it was a lot of water.
But it also like it burns your nerves, right? So at some point it just becomes numb.
That's
as opposed
true.
To
probably wouldn't
pain.
be that bad.
Yeah. So I believe he dies.
I've met people who have bad burns on sizable parts of their body and are still able to like live ordinary lives and not just sit in a hospital screaming all day.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's like a problematic part, like an ableist part of this 1980s movie.
I'm not
definitely the most problematic part of this movie, I'd say. Like
I'm just gonna call it unrealistic rather than ableist. Just that it would be that bad what happens to him.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Aunt Martha. Okay.
I think she's lawful evil.
Do we want to just? I know we already said we're spoiling the movie, but should we just go over this just so people watching this understand what's happening? Okay. So two kids, Peter and Angela. One day they're in a boating accident.
Their father is killed.
This is all a revelation at the end, so this is a complete spoilers of what happens.
Yeah.
Their father is killed along with Angela. Mm-hmm. Peter is the only survivor of the boating accident, sent to live with Aunt Martha, who's this lady over here.
Yep. And her son Ricky, who is
Ricky's over there.
Yeah, there's Ricky.
So, but because Aunt Martha already has a son, Ricky, she decides, okay, I'm gonna raise you as Angela. So she forces Peter to
two boys simply wouldn't do.
2 boys, yeah. So she forces Peter to adopt the name and gender identity of Angela.
Pretty severe psychological abuse.
Yes.
And that Peter ends up taking revenge on those who have wronged him later in the film. Peter/Angela, because he's called Angela for most of the movie. And people have read the film for this reason as potentially transphobic. I've also seen trans critics read it as actually kind of transpositive in its way, because it's about how damaging gender dysphoria and being forced into a gender role that doesn't align with your own can be.
And I know that we're talking about Angela or Peter as as Peter first. I personally describe Angela with like he, she, her pronouns, because that's what she was showing to respond to. But this isn't she's not a real person. No, she's never gonna come out and say my pronouns are this
and
or whatever.
Angela canonically is not trans.
Yes.
Angela/Peter canonically is a person who has been psychologically abusively raised in an opposite gender. Never at any point identifies as trans specifically, but can nonetheless be read as a coded, metaphorically trans. In the same way that Norman Bates and Buffalo Bill are both specifically
not trans. Yeah, but I can also see how the image, even
still going to kind of read that way.
Yeah. Even if the text of it that shows them is explicitly not trans, the imagery of it can be used to fuel transphobia. So if
the reveal that Angela has a wiener is supposed to be this big, horrifying, shocking moment.
Yes. So if you view this movie as transphobic, I'm not going to disagree, but that's not going to lessen my love for.
Yeah, the movie, it's also just campy and silly enough that even if it is transphobic, it doesn't communicate that. It's just so silly that I can't take it. It feels almost like a parody of transphobia that way.
But anyway, so
let's talk about Aunt Martha.
Yeah, I think Lawful Evil is right, because she does represent the structure, sort of by enforcing a structure, even if it's not the stereotypical oh, you must perform your gender this way. It's also I can't have 2 boys. Yeah, it's a silly structure, but it's still a structure. You know what I mean?
It's a very irrational. It is law of a sort.
She's very when I think of Lawful Evil, I think of Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. Oh, transphobia!
Yay, full circle.
But anyways, someone who represents they're enforcing a structure and doing evil things to enforce it.
Yeah, so I think a Stalin kind of crooked cop.
So I would say that Aunt Martha definitely falls into that, and she has her whole outfits are a parody of, I think, like a kind of like a
50s
matron.
sitcom
Yeah,
mom.
exactly. Like, sort of like motherly matron.
Yeah.
Like
And the actress's performance is marvelously unhinged.
listen.
And the first time you see her in the movie, you're thinking like, what is this performance?
Yeah.
And then we get she's only in 2 scenes, and at the end there's the flashback where we see her again, and we realize this isn't just an unhinged performance. This is an unhinged character. She's supposed to be insane.
So, yeah, I agree. She's definitely the probably the most lawful evil. Yeah. I think she's the most lawful evil.
Yeah, I think you could argue she's the real villain of the film.
Yes.
There's she mentions having a husband, but I don't think we ever meet him.
No. One of the line is like, "Oh, ever since my husband left." And,
that's it.
And
right, she thinks that having Angela/Peter around will bring her husband back.
Yeah,
because we'll be a family again.
But I love how it's like, she's like, my husband left, and the whole audience is like, oh yeah, of course.
I wonder why.
Because she's freaking bonkers.
Honestly, it is a miracle that Ricky is as normal as he is.
Yeah, it's actually amazing.
Or is he? There's the big question.
Yeah,
how much does Ricky know about his cousin? I like the detail at the beginning also that Aunt Martha was the one who forged their... she's a doctor, apparently.
She's also a doctor.
She forged their physical... She didn't forge. She made their physical exam
I love
sheets.
that that's a line, because that's another line that the audience laughs at. It's like, oh yeah, and even though I'm a doctor...
Even though they know that I am a doctor.
The whole audience is like, wait, this fucking nutbag is a doctor?
I bet you're not very good at this.
Listen, this actor is amazing. She died, I think, in the last couple of years. She does so much with so little.
Absolutely.
One of the best cinematic performances I've ever seen.
She's
glory to Aunt Martha.
Lifts up the film. Her scenes are electric.
I love her.
All right. This is the dad, right?
This is the dad.
Who dies at the beginning?
The biological guardian of Peter/Angela.
He seemed like a good dude.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing.
He seems like a good father to them.
Does the fact that he is engaging in like a homosexual relationship in the 1980s, does that make him like against the structure of the time? You know what I mean?
He certainly, I wouldn't say that he is choosing to be against the structure, so I wouldn't necessarily put him in chaotic, but he is certainly forced outside of it.
Yeah, not like chaotic evil.
I believe it's mentioned that he's divorced.
No, I think it's mentioned that.
Am I getting mixed?
No, Aunt Martha's divorced. Because Ricky's with his dad.
But where is Angela and Peter's mother then?
He's probably divorced.
I thought that he was divorced, and
or a widower. I don't think it's ever specified.
But I got the sense that he was divorced because he learned a few years into the marriage that he was gay, and therefore their marriage fell apart.
So I do think lawful.
I'm gonna call him neutral good.
Neutral good. Oh yeah, neutral good. And not lawful. Sorry.
He can't be lawful because he's.
Yeah.
He maybe he would like to be lawful, but unfortunately, lawful will not accept him in the 1980s. But he seemed like a good dad. He was taking his kids to the lake. He seemed to have a pretty good relationship with his boyfriend, this man with the unfortunate hairline.
Yeah. I think from what we've seen, he seems like a good dad.
The scene where they're just lying in bed together and like stroking each other's hair, like. I'm sure in the 1980s people would look at that scene and go, ah! But like now he's just like, oh, that seems sweet.
Yeah.
They seem to love each other.
Okay.
I'm not aroused by it, but like, sure, why not? There's just some guys having a time.
No relationship must exist if it does not arouse me personally.
Yeah.
Is what homophobes sound like.
Old people shouldn't be allowed to have sex.
That's why, lesbians,
only hot lesbians exist.
Lesbians, like lesbian porn is okay, but not.
Who's this?
No fucking clue.
Who's this?
That's the girl that... Okay, so the girl on the boat where the guy's like, oh, making fun of her. Oh, there are water snakes.
Yeah.
That's her.
All right, she did nothing wrong.
She did nothing wrong. She's a counselor. I guess lawful neutral. That's probably the word. Yeah, not like too lawful, but not neither good nor
not
evil.
All the way over here, but... She did nothing wrong, but she did nothing especially right.
Can we move Aunt Martha a bit to the right? Because she's not entirely lawful. She because she forges the things and
she doesn't forge them. She has the legal authority to do it.
No. She's like, oh, don't tell people where you got them and blah blah blah. So she's not like entirely lawful. She does represent, but
and she is using it for the sake of a form of deception.
Yeah. Okay. So
James Earl Jones' dad,
Robert Earl Jones. See, here's the thing.
I'm going to put him in true neutral for now, but let's hear our case.
He is very
shockingly blasé.
Shockingly blasé to Artie's blatant pedophilia, and
he just laughs it off.
At some point, Artie just comes out of the closet buckling himself.
Yeah.
Out when the little girl, like, you know, Angela runs out, and he's just like, listen, he knows that Artie's a fucking.
He can't not know.
And then at some point later, Mel, the camp owner, is like, okay, to keep basically pays him off, like, okay, we'll give you $50 more for you to be quiet. And he's like, he laughs at. So I'm gonna say
I'm not gonna hold that one against him too much because I got the sense that he and I noticed that he and the other kitchen staff were all gentlemen of color in a predominantly white. I got the sense they needed the money.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, this does not look like a wealthy man.
yeah, definitely like a blue collar, like, you know, and those people are definitely like, you know, but I am.
He's certainly a little on the chaotic side.
I would put him slightly below.
Yeah.
Towards evil.
He's willing to look the other way. For
Yeah,
some...
looking willing, like doesn't, or you know, just because listen, even if you think, oh no, he's just so blind to Artie's evil.
What is Artie's literal first line of dialogue in the movie?
Look at all that young, fresh chicken. Where I come from, we call them baldies.
And then
he just laughs
this
it
guy
off.
just laughs it off like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you and your sense of humor.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
he's
gonna
got to
say-
know this is
yeah,
not
he's
just a
gotta
dark
know.
sense of humor.
But I'm gonna put him as less chaotic, I think.
Well, he's willing to look the other way
That's
for
true,
money.
that's true, yeah,
About
Okay, yeah,
he's
you're
willing
right.
to
you're
not
right.
talk
so,
to the
so,
cops.
So more, not neutral towards chaotic, but not like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. I think that's a good place
on
to
the
put him.
chaotic side, but not all the way over here. All right.
So this guy, I'm pretty sure this is Billy. This is the guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Listen, even if this isn't, we're just gonna
The
pretend
guy
it
who
is.
gets killed by the bees.
Yeah. He's an asshole.
Yeah, he sucks.
I don't know if he's. Well, he breaks the law, the rules, by like bullying, by throwing water balloons.
Bullying can be a form of lawful, though, if it's an
No.
assertion of who is lower on the rung.
But in this one,
Cops are bullies, and
but
cops are
because
lawful.
here's the thing: because he's explicitly breaking the rules of the camp. Because Mel has to come in and be
That's
like, oh
true.
yeah, I'm gonna say chaotic evil, not to the extent of, maybe more chaotic, but less evil than Artie.
Yeah.
You know, because more chaotic in the sense that he's not like an authority figure like Artie is, but also he's like, you know.
Yeah, he's not a counselor, is he?
Yeah, he's. Or maybe he. I don't know, but
That's
he's
another
not
funny
like
thing
a-
about this movie is that the
can't tell.
teenage campers are a mix of like actual teenagers and straight up adults.
Yes.
Oh my God! Look at what's going on in Judy's pic.
Yeah.
Like, wow, is it cold out?
Okay. Yeah, but he gets what he deserves.
You sure do.
You know, because you know, if you bully someone, you should die. In,
Yeah.
By 80s horror movie rules.
Yeah, not the bees other in my
Yeah.
eyes.
Not that
etc.
I've ever bullied anyone. Haha. Okay. So the next guy. So okay.
This is the guy who's
Listen.
unintentionally responsible for the boating accident at the beginning.
So here's what he is. He's a lifeguard. He's like, okay, oh,
he
don't-
was distracted talking to a hot girl.
Yeah, and his girlfriend's like, oh, let me drive, and he's like, no, I can't because I'm a lifeguard. They'll fire me. And then she's like, no, please, and he's like,
And he just
okay,
immediately
fine.
caves, and two people
So-
die.
So he's definitely he could be lawful, but he's because he breaks the law.
He
that
doesn't
himself-
respect his authority.
Yeah, he would like err on the side of chaotic. Maybe not evil. Not
I
as,
think he's a little bit evil
not to
because
the-
he's irresponsible in a way that I would consider criminal.
Yeah, but I would put him less evil than Robert like he's not like looking the other way from
Yeah.
blatant pedophilia.
All right, how about like this then?
Yeah, I think that. Or could we make Robert O. Jones like in front of?
Yeah, can we?
No, we can't. I guess we can't. Never
No,
mind. Okay.
can't layer
I
these.
would just rather have the more prominent character be in front, but whatever.
I
it's
would
fine.
too. Let's
Yeah.
move him a little. So now it looks like they're sharing a knowing glance.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then wait.
She tries to warn them.
She tries to warn
She's
them.
shouting like
She's
there's
like-
another boat.
Okay, she's definitely good.
Yeah, she's doing her best.
I think maybe even towards lawful good, not like entirely lawful, but like
Yeah.
maybe. Okay, listen. I think we should put her more good than the dad because we see her actually try. Because not because the dad is bad, but because we don't see him try to do anything.
That's true.
Other than just have fun with his kids, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I would say, that's like a good place to put. Yeah,
Alright.
I would say that's where she goes.
A lot of thought into a character who I don't think is even given a name.
No, but she's the best. I love her. She gives
Yeah,
like
she's
amazing
trying.
performance. She's screaming like, "There's a ball!"
Yeah. Who is that?
I don't know. It's probably no one.
It's gonna
important.
bother me. All right, this is the cop with the obviously fake mustache.
So obviously lawful.
Yeah.
Is it? Does he even do any? Well, I mean, he's like trying to solve the murders, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't really accomplish
Yeah,
much.
but I guess that would put him kind of good, lawful. Like he's definitely the most lawful. I'd say. I don't think
Yeah.
there's anyone more lawful than him.
Yeah, we're never shown any indication of him as bending the rules or.
Yeah, other than his mustache.
Yeah, which is a deeply, deeply chaotic mustache. Sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not. It has what the TikTok kids would call big chaotic energy.
Oh God. See, I feel like I'm. Where would you put him?
I mean, ACAB, right?
Yeah, awful evil, but no, I don't. Because he's not as evil.
He's not.
As, like,
He's not
they're
evil.
shown as evil as like, Aunt Martha or the pedophile.
Yeah,
So, like,
and honestly, like, this guy does nothing wrong. I have
Yeah.
no reason to believe that ACAB applies to this one fictional county cop who is doing his best.
to like save children.
So
from
I've got
being
him more good than neutral, but not especially high on it.
murdered. Can we put him maybe a bit higher? Like,
Alright.
yeah, I think that would be a good spot. Just because I don't think it's like there's that much ambiguity as
Yeah.
towards his morality. You
Yeah,
know.
he's all right.
Wait, is Sleepaway Camp propaganda?
I think it was made in a time when most people trusted cops and didn't think too hard about it.
Yeah, which is funny because it's also such a queer movie. Like,
Deeply.
yeah,
Which brings us to this guy.
chaotic good.
The-
Towards chaotic.
Hey, I got all this money riding on the baseball game. Maybe I'll be able to afford to buy a shirt that covers up my midriff.
I mean, this guy, I have nothing. Okay,
He's
no,
fine.
no, no,
I
no.
like him.
Listen, not chaotic though, because at some point he takes away the knife from the camper and
Yes, he
hides it. So he
does.
does represent a law.
Yeah, he's a counselor, right?
Yeah, he's a counselor. So, but his actual, he stores the knife in a very easy to find place,
True.
and it is taken later.
Well, he's an idiot.
Yeah. I'd say
Lawful does not mean smart.
Yeah, I'd say to the left of the girl. No, to the left of both these girls. Yeah. I'd say I put him there.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I think. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because we see him like enforce the law, and also we have to protect the kids, but he fails at his job. But he's
Yeah.
still like.
And he's like, rude and swears a lot, but in a way that the kids clearly like enjoy and
Yeah.
feel like part of. So he's like an older brother figure to them.
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah. Who's this guy?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm realizing now that Ronnie is not in this list.
Oh.
This guy, the guy
Where's
that.
Ronnie?
Yeah, I think whoever made this. You know what I think happened? I think the person who made us this thought that this guy with the white hat was Ronnie. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, let's pretend he's
Yeah,
Ronnie.
let's pretend he's Ronnie because Ronnie's the best. This is
Ronnie's
the-
lawful good. Oh, I scrolled up too high.
Yeah, so Ronnie. Just so we can give this guy a shout out. He's the guy who discovers the drowned kid. And he's like, "How did that get here? Why do they always make me pick up?" And then he.
Yeah.
But let's just pretend he's Ronnie because I think Ronnie's a more important character.
Much.
Yeah. Ronnie. Okay. Ronnie. Yeah. Yes. Lawful good. However, just like Chino, I think is his name.
Yeah,
Also
Gino.
kind of an idiot.
Oh, yeah, they're all
No,
idiots.
because remember when he just like, "Oh, hey Angela, I know who can help you. Artie, the pedophile shit."
Yeah, I guess he doesn't know
Yeah, but
because he's not around Artie very much.
But at the same time, it's like
Is it RT or Arnie?
RT.
RT, short for Arthur. Okay.
So I thought so much of this is based on what is their relationship to Artie, the pedophile shit.
I mean, inevitably that's gonna come up, right? It's like when Epstein died. Before Epstein died, when Epstein got arrested, everyone who had any connection to him in any way was scrutinized.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is when someone's a pedophile.
Yeah.
How you knew them is gonna. If you knew them, what your relationship was with them will be scrutinized.
So I just think because of that, I'm not comfortable putting him that high into lawful good.
Because he immediately establishes himself as like nice to Angela. He's never anything but nice to anyone, really.
Yeah.
Is it Gino who's taking the kids camping?
No, I
toward
don't
the
think
end?
that character's in this.
Okay.
Unless he is, and I'm just not seeing him. But whatever, all these blurry pictures.
Yeah.
Um,
This is the kid who gets drowned, right?
no, that's the one to the right of him.
Oh yeah.
Who is this kid?
Is he the other kid who's hanging out with him and they're both bullying Angela?
No, that's Mike. That's this kid over here.
You're right. So who's he?
Not is that Mike? Yeah, I think that's Mike. Who is this kid?
I don't know. All right, I guess we skip him.
Yeah, let's skip him. So this kid is
That's the guy who gets drowned. Kenny.
That's the guy who's like ba boppity bop, ba boopity boo, like
Yeah.
under the boat, and then he gets drowned.
Yeah.
And he gives the best drowning.
Why is there
acting.
light underneath the boat? When he's hiding under the canoe, you can see everything quite well, even though it's
Yeah.
night out.
I don't know. You know what I'm always wondering? why is watch his drowning scene.
Yeah.
He's like, his hand is just like waving
yeah,
out
he's-
of the water. It's the
He's
best.
giving it his all.
Definitely a
said-
bully.
He sucks, so he's definitely...
Yeah, he's also, he torments the girl, the towards chaotic evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that. Same as the other bully. I feel like all the bullies are gonna be like,
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of bullies in this movie.
yeah.
The dad's boyfriend.
Dad's boyfriend, probably.
Think about the same as the dad.
I don't know. I mean, is he? We don't
He's
see
trying
much
to.
about
He's
him.
trying to warn them about the boat, and we
Oh.
see his shocked and horrified expression after
Yeah.
it's happened.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't know if he's more I would just put him like maybe slightly below the dad, just because I think we see more.
All right,
We know more about the morality of the dad than him slightly.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Neither of them were given a whole lot of
So
characterization.
closer to neutral, I guess.
This girl.
This
who
girl
is also
Harbinger
responsible
of
for
Doom. Yes. Yeah, more chaotic than.
I think more chaotic but less evil, because he understood his responsibility and failed at it. She was just some dumb teenager.
Okay.
He should have known better.
Cool. Okay, I think that's fair.
This is
Meg.
Meg, who's
Who completely bullies Angela?
I'm calling her lawful evil, because she's using her position as a
Lawful evil, yeah.
camp because she's a camp counselor.
Yes.
She really ought to know better.
Yes.
And she's so fucking mean for no reason.
Yeah, absolutely fuck Meg. And I love that she my favorite shot in the movie, well, one of them, other than every other shot, is when she's like trying to get a shower. So she's like, "Oh, can I cut in line?" And all the girls turn to look at her, and it's just the most like John Hughes 1980s, like in the middle of this like perverted horror movie. It's just like something out of a teen
Yeah,
comedy.
but all just hell no,
where
you
all
can't.
these girls just look at her like, "Bitch, please!" Like
Yeah.
it's so funny. And she, before we move on, her humming. In the shower.
Yeah.
That's my favorite, because you just know the director was like, "Oh yeah, so just shower, just hum casually."
I think it's the same direction he gave Kenny for when he starts scat singing.
Yeah, because Kenny's just the actor probably was like, "Okay, I'll just scat the song I know, abba dee ba."
Hey, Bubba Reba. Hey, Bubba Reba.
Also, why when Kenny's under the boat, he's like still calling for the girl. When
Yeah.
like if she were there, you'd see her.
Yeah, because of all the light.
Yes, because like where it's
Because of
not
the
it's
glowing,
not
the glowing coral. Clearly.
yeah, freshwater coral on this lake. Mel, I think Mel's neutral evil.
I'd say more lawful, because his whole thing is about preserving the structure.
Yeah, but he's covering stuff up from the police. That's criminal.
That's a good point, but I'd say definitely more lawful than chaotic. I'd say more lawful than neutral. Definitely very evil, because remember, just like Artie, he is engaging in inappropriate. Maybe not to a point of rape, but he is like
Yeah.
having an affair with Meg, who is
He
a teenager.
he
and-
wants to have an affair with Meg. It never gets off the ground.
No, they have a line where it's like, "Oh, we used to see each other." They've done it before.
I got the sense this was the first time, because like when she comes onto him and she leaves and he has this look on his face like, yeah, not bad.
Oh.
I got the sense that this
Well,
was.
I got a sense that they had a long, because remember when
Maybe.
Meg dies and he's like, "Not you, Meg."
Well, it's because
No,
he was
no.
gonna fuck her.
No, but then later he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you. This is for Meg." Like,
Yeah.
like he really cared
Maybe
about Meg.
maybe.
So I would personally.
Now Meg is a counselor, not a camper. There.
Yeah,
and
but still, like, that's he.
she's one of his employees.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I'm going to assume that she's over the age of consent, but she's still one of his employees. The age gap is impossible to avoid. Even though she comes on to him, there is still just so much unethical shit going on.
He
here.
also beats the shit out of Ricky, who
He
is
sure
definitely
does.
a kid. I would put him definitely lower than Meg, I would say.
Really? Because he's less mean than Meg.
No, but listen, Meg like throwing. But listen, he doesn't. Meg throws.
And when he beats up Ricky, he thinks Ricky's the killer.
Yeah, but still, he's a child.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know? And he's like wearing on him like a gorilla.
Yeah. It really is like 2001, the apes hammering each other.
Also, he's like the friggin' mayor in Jaws. He's just like, oh, we need to like
yeah.
let all this like I definitely
He starts out that way, and then he gets way worse.
yeah, he's not as evil as like pedophile rapist Artie, but he is definitely like
He's a
you
piece
know,
of shit.
one of the
All right.
because like, Meg at least is like a teenager. She's immature. She's like cliquey. She's a bully. Whatever. She's a mean girl. But Mel is just psychotic.
Yeah. All right, I've got him a little more evil than her.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Slightly lawful on the lawful side, but still on the line.
Yeah.
All right, this kid,
Mike. He's one of the bullies.
Yeah.
I don't think
there's a lot of people clustered around
Yeah.
here.
He's not that bad. I think the worst he does, if my memory is served, he just mocks Angela by like, "Hey, this is what you look like when you walk," or something
yeah.
like that.
How does
It's
he
like,
die again?
I don't think
does
he dies.
die?
No, I don't think he.
No,
even
I guess
dies.
not.
Yeah,
All right, he's in here somewhere.
yeah, like neutral evil kind of. That's what I would put him. He's not like
Yeah.
he's just
A
kind
lot
of
of
a bully.
big old pile of people here.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, this is
Mozart?
the.
Mozart the nerd,
I forgot that there's this character.
who has a knife for some reason. He just draws a knife on another
Yeah,
kid.
the kids bully him. They pull pranks on him, and he pulls out a knife.
And
that
for the
knife
rest of
becomes
the
a
movie,
puppet.
he's just the standard, gentle, harmless nerd. It's so weird.
He's so funny. I just remember, I don't know. I don't remember if I was laughing in
I
the
think he's
audience.
chaotic neutral.
Yeah. He's definitely the most chaotic. I just remember. Listen, I don't remember if the theater was laughing or if it was just me laughing. So
everyone was
when
laughing.
he pulled out the knife, because it was just such a huge escalation.
Yeah.
Just
Boy, that escalated quickly.
You're just pulling like the shaving cream prank on him.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a knife.
It's shaving cream, dude. It is meant to wash right off.
And it's funny because he's just like this nerd.
Yeah.
And he just pulls.
Like, he could have been the villain of his own slasher movie where he got a sort of a, I don't know, revenge of a nerd.
Yeah, sort of like
But
a
with less
retribution
rape?
of the geeks kind of thing.
Yeah. Ricky. Cousin Ricky. Ricky's alright. Ricky
Yeah,
looks out
definitely
for his
good.
cousin.
I think he's definitely one of the good. I don't know about lawful good because he does he swears and he gets in trouble with.
That's true.
I
But
def-
every time he gets in trouble, it's because he's just trying to protect his cousin.
Yeah, but I would say.
Alright, he's willing to bend the rules.
He's definitely listen. I think he's definitely more lawful than Mel because Mel is the authority figure who chastises and punishes him for speaking out to protect his cousin.
So what do you think here?
No, less lawful than Mel because
Less lawful.
Mel represents the law.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
So he's like he's running against.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. So, but definitely good. He's definitely like probably the most
Yeah.
good person, even though he
All right. He's willing to and unafraid to break rules
Yes.
to do the right thing.
exactly.
Who are these people?
Oh.
I'm gonna keep coming back to this.
Who are these? You couldn't get Ronnie, but you got these losers. Like,
Yeah, all right.
Oh, Judy. Okay.
Judy.
I
think she's.
she's a bully.
What would you call
she's
her?
a mean
Chaotic?
girl.
Would you call her lawful?
She's definitely neutral. I'd say neutral evil.
All right.
Yeah.
I
Like
think on the chaotic side because she does evil things simply because she feels like it.
But doesn't that make her more neutral then? Because she's doing it out of her own needs and desires, rather than trying to go against the structure or
Well,
something.
I don't think a chaotic person necessarily goes against the structure for the sake of going against the structure. They just kind of will willingly disregard it if it stands in the way.
Okay, well, where would you put him?
I think she definitely has what they would call chaotic energy.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Favorite Judy line that I didn't even
Well.
Well, if it isn't the two lovebirds.
If it isn't the two lovebirds.
She's always like just right off frame, ready to like
Yeah.
walk on frame at a given notice, and she just It really makes you think about editing and cinematography.
Yeah.
How just the
Blocking.
way she enters the frame and leaves is so funny.
Yeah.
Because she
So
just
awkward.
walks on and leaves. But my favorite Judy line that I didn't even realize was funny until I saw it with an audience is when she's making out with the dude. She's like, do you have to kiss so wet?
Yeah.
And I got a huge laugh, and because that's not something.
Is this the dude she's kissing?
Maybe I know.
He's somebody in the mess hall. I don't. All right, whatever. Susie.
Susie, definitely lawful good.
Yeah, she's nice.
Because she slaps.
Mel. No,
she slaps.
Meg.
Judy. When Judy's like.
Is it Judy? I thought it
Yeah,
was
Judy's
Meg.
like, oh, you're a real carpenter's dream.
Yeah.
Flat as a board and needs a screw. That's enough, Judy. Slap.
Yeah.
So definitely lawful good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that's a good one.
All right.
We see her like protecting the.
Yeah, and she's always nice to people.
Mm-hmm.
She's when Angela gets thrown in the water, like it's Susie who runs to help her out, and
Yeah.
she's always very like, "Do you want to come swimming with us? You don't? Okay, that's all right."
Yes. But at the same time, she represents the structure. Like she's
Yeah.
an example of the structure of the camp working.
Yeah, she's the counselor who takes her job seriously
Yeah.
and tries to do everything in her power.
Yeah.
And unlike Meg, because Meg was not attracted to Mel. Meg wanted to sleep with Mel because she thought it would be good for her career, right?
Yeah, maybe.
And
I
that's
think
the
it's
only
pretty ambiguous.
possible reason. I get the sense that she thinks she'll get preferential treatment, and Susie would never do that for preferential treatment because that's below board stuff. And Susie is all very like, I'm just gonna be a good camp counselor and do my best and work hard. And that's why she's so fucking boring. But she's nice.
That's true. I love how I think our two favorite characters from doing this alignment chart are Mozart and Susie. I mean,
I like Ronnie a lot.
Just from how we talk about
because Ronnie is just so weirdly buff.
Well, yeah. Does the fact
and his T-shirt is spelled wrong.
Does that make him more? Does the fact that Ronnie is wearing the shortest shorts I can see his high definition penis at any given shot?
Oh yeah.
In front of kids, does that make him more chaotic?
I don't know. That's an excellent question. And we need to talk about the fact that he wears a shirt with the word body bidding on it. They left out the L. It's great. All right,
Okay.
let's talk about Paul.
So these are the last two. I think they're the most controversial characters.
I think so.
Paul, he starts out pretty nice. Well, no, he starts off being like, "Oh, have you seen Judy? She has big titties now." Which you could be, "Oh yeah, it's kind of misogynistic." Then he's
typical
nice.
Teenage boy.
Yeah.
Though.
Then he's nice to Angela.
Yes, he is.
He's like the only person. And he's the only person to get Angela out of her shell.
Yes, he gets her to talk.
But then he starts pressuring her for kisses and stuff. And pressuring her for to go swimming naked and stuff. And being all self-pitying, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, please no."
And I got the sense we don't see exactly the circumstances of his decapitation.
Yeah.
But I think what happened was that Angela got nude, thinking all right, cool, let's do this. And he freaked out and saw her penis, and that's why she killed him.
Yeah.
I think he handled... That's why, is that he handled it really badly. That said, I'm going to put him exactly neutral, is my response.
Yeah.
Because he has his good points and his flaws.
Yeah, I think that's...
And in the end, he's not good enough.
Yeah, that's a very, very good take on it. I think he's definitely the... because people I feel like he's that type of character. If we were studying Sleepaway Camp in a class, we'd be like, oh, is he really a genuinely kind person, or is he just a selfish person looking for sex? But I don't think it's the either or. I think he just
both
has
are true.
Yeah, he has both all of these qualities.
Because he's a teenager and he's torn and he's conflicted and he does genuinely want sex, but he also is trying to be a good person. He just doesn't always succeed.
Yeah, even though he does cheat on Angela with Judy.
Yeah, he's being torn in all directions by his hormones. He's an idiot.
He's not smart.
Most of these very few of these characters are smart.
And finally, Angela. Chaotic good. I mean, yeah, you are getting veto power, but I must say, remember, she kills those
Shouldn't
children.
have killed those children. Okay, yeah.
Just slightly less good. Slightly less good, also slightly less chaotic.
All right. For what it's worth, the director said he regretted.
I know, but
but
that's
still... I want the audience to know this. The director said that he regretted the bit where Angela kills the kids camping in the woods because it seemed a little too cruel, and because we didn't really get to know these kids well enough anyway for it to give us that Schadenfreude. I didn't even realize that they were the kids who had thrown sand at her earlier in the film.
Exactly. But even though the director regrets that, I don't
It's
think
in the movie.
It's in the movie. I don't think we can discount it. But if you're arguing that Angela is so good that even killing 4 children only
them
brings
kids.
Her, brings her slightly closer to neutral. I can't. We said you get the veto power. You can choose it every
a little more. But Angela is a victim of lifelong abuse. Angela / Peter. This kid has been abused their whole life, and not the whole life, since getting to Aunt Martha's, and since being played by a child actor, and all the murders are committed in self-defense. I would argue.
See, okay, listen. I love Angela, and I'm perfectly
especially
fine.
this murder.
Yes, and I'm perfectly fine having her up in good. I'm completely fine with that, just out of my love for this character.
Yeah.
In real life, however, if she were a real person,
Don't commit murder.
And using your personal traumas, you shouldn't use it as an excuse.
No.
To behave like
Angela never uses it as an excuse. Angela never says,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything
No,
wrong. Look at all the bad stuff that was happened to me.
I'm just saying this from a perspective of, the stance of I will say this though is not that if you are like abused as a kid, that gives you license to murder 4 children.
No, but
I know. I'm perfectly fine. With
I think this
Angela
is also
in
how
the
I
good
can
quadrant.
argue that the movie is not that bad on the trans issues front, is by pointing out that we like Angela.
Yes, that's true.
Angela is not a disgusting, deceptive force of horror and perversion. Angela is a nice kid who wants to be left alone.
Yeah, and the people she kills are people who should die.
Yeah.
Like Artie
And those children.
and Mel.
I just wish we got to see Aunt Martha get killed if there was an end of Carrie style sequence of pure revenge, but I get why they couldn't fit that into the movie.
Yeah. I just want to say,
Fuck them kids.
I
That's what I want to say.
think like one of the reasons why I feel like, because listen, I can't speak to whether or not the trans community as a whole is like particularly like pro Sleepaway Camp or anti Sleepaway Camp.
I believe they're fairly torn on it.
Yeah.
Some like.
However, at the screening we went to, you weren't there because you came after. But like in the line, there were like at least a couple trans people in line, and I definitely could see how a trans person would love this movie.
Yeah.
Because like here's the thing,
You could take it as empowering.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, listen, one of the so I'm just gonna go personal. I'm just gonna relate this to something personal to me. So like, I'm an atheist, right? I don't believe in God. I think one of the first times when I've seen like atheism portrayed in like a movie theater that I can remember, or that like explicitly portrayed, is in the movie Don't Breathe. Danny?
That's the one where they're breaking into the blind guy's house?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
Okay.
I think it's been spoiled for me. I think I know.
Okay. So, anyways, I won't spoil it just in case Danny hasn't been spoiled. But the bad guy's the blind guy, right? He's like super evil, super evil, and then he has a line where he's like, he lost his daughter in an accident, and he's like, oh, because there is no God, that means once you accept that there's no God, that means you can do anything. Completely wrong, right?
I believe that is not the position of most atheists I've met.
That's not how. But so it's in the same sense that Sleepaway Camp can be read as like trans people are evil kind of thing. People who do not conform to their gender identity are evil and dangerous. There's also this belief that atheists are evil and dangerous.
I have seen very few positive depictions of atheism on screen, and
Yes.
of quite a few along the lines of what you're saying in Don't Breathe.
But I love Don't Breathe, and I love that character, and I think it's because there's one thing to mock you for a part of your identity. Another thing is to say we should be scared of you for this part of your identity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's something really fun and empowering.
Being the
about
monster
that.
is kinda cool.
Is actually kind of cool. That's why, earlier I asked Danny, can you think of any like Chinese horror movie villains? is because I feel like, because I'm also Asian, I'm also Chinese. I feel like Asianness is usually portrayed in movies as like, you know, in those old like racist movies, as a form of like, oh, we should mock them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of like comical weakling.
Yeah,
type
exactly.
characters.
And I can't really think of one where it's like, oh, this person, this is like a horror movie villain who is evil because they are Chinese. You know what I mean?
Some of the Fu Manchu movies have horror elements. The villain of the Werewolf of London is. It took me a while to realize he was supposed to be Asian. Because
he's played by.
It's Werner Oland.
Oh yeah, that guy again.
Star of the Charlie Chan movie.
We were just talking about this. Wait, it's the same guy?
Yeah,
he's just always playing like Asian character.
And the thing is, like, he believed that he looked Asian enough that he didn't need any yellowface. So he's not doing yellowface.
Is that worse or better?
I don't know, because he was Swedish.
Wait, why am I asking you?
But apparently he had like a drop of Mongolian blood.
Ah, yeah.
And like, he is a distinct looking guy, but I would not look at him and think like, yes, that is an East Asian man.
Yeah. And I think that like, and listen, this isn't even about like necessarily about, because you know, if people see this video, they're probably gonna get comments like, oh, so you're saying they have to look a certain way. Like, it's not just, it's also about the fact that like people in the industry get roles a lot of the times, or don't get roles based on their race. So if you're in an industry that like, when back then we're like, it's hard for, you know, Asian actors to get like leading roles like Charlie Chan, and then you cast white guys as,
and then they'd always cast like actual Asian actors as Charlie Chan's #1 son, his sidekick.
Yeah.
They'd get like Key Luke, I think James Hong played him once. And so like, why couldn't Charlie Chan just also be Chinese? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But anyways, that's I mean, that's me trying to relate to what I can imagine the experiences of some trans people might be to watching Sleepaway Camp.
And one thing, of course, to remember is, like any community, in big air quotes, the trans community is not a monolith.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you will find very differing opinions on this movie from trans people, I'm sure.
And also, it's also a bit iffy. We brought this again up earlier, but it's a bit iffy if Angela is in fact trans. In the sequels, she's explicitly trans, like, and she's like, and the one good thing about the sequels,
only one.
Well, the two good things is, first of all, Pamela Springsteen, Bruce Springsteen's sister, plays Angela. But second is that it's her transness isn't actually a big deal. It's just like, oh, she's like Freddy Krueger-esque murderer, serial killer, who happens to be assigned male at birth, which I think is pretty cool. Like, I don't think it's even mentioned in the third one, but yeah. So, so I think that's a good place to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Well, Danny, is there anything that you might want to change looking at this?
I wish we had an actual picture of Ronnie.
Yeah, well, could we edit in? Okay, in post, we're gonna edit in.
Yeah, right here.
Ronnie, a picture of Ronnie right here in his glorious, or just a picture of Ronnie's crotch.
We'll see what we can find.
Let's see what we can find.
But you'll already know by now.
Yeah.
I wish I knew who these people were. I feel kind of incomplete.
Well, okay, just guess. They're probably neutral. Like,
yeah.
That's one of them.
If they didn't leave much of an impact on us, then they were probably just extras.
Completely neutral. Yeah. So yeah, we all love Ronnie. This is making me realize how much I love Mozart.
Yeah. Great character. Only in a few scenes. Easy to forget, but all of his scenes are gold.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's...
He's playing his video game when he should be playing baseball, and he catches it anyway because he looks up in time.
Oh god, I love this movie so much.
It's delightful.
Yeah.
All right, happy Halloween,
Happy Halloween, everyone.